Hi. Over the filming of my project there has been quite a few changes to my original storyboard. This is largely down to something that I expected to happen, which was the fact that I didn't manage to get my main interview. This was with an ex-Norwich player, and unfortunately there was just not really enough time. He's very busy, so it wasn't possible, but this didn't really change the project entirely because I had anticipated that this could be the case, so therefore I made an alternative in my storyboard to compensate for the probable loss of that shot. Other than that though, it is largely unchanged, and the only sort of small changes that I made are perhaps varying shot types. For example, some of the high angle ones I have not been able to include purely because I could not get really the angles that I wanted, or sort of the shot really that I wanted either. So unfortunately I had to cut that out, but nevertheless I still think that what we have is pretty good, and I'm pleased with what I've done. Other than that, it's largely adhered to what I intended, which that has pleased me quite a bit, because I liked it sort of in my head when I was putting it down on the storyboard. I felt that it had a really good flow to it, the way it was, so I'm rather pleased that it has stayed more or less the same. Perhaps some of the ordering has changed because, again, with the interviews I wasn't really sure of what they'd say, and perhaps some of what they've said, it sort of helped. It's helped sort of add a transition to my project. So, for example, one bit I thought, oh, that takes me rather nicely on into the next bit. In one of my interviews, there is a reference that it's an interviewing a neutral, and I'm talking about because this person, they live nearer to Norwich, but they work in Ipswich, so I felt, and there's a question about that, so that kind of geared me to move from Norwich into Ipswich. So yeah, that did change a bit of the ordering around, but yeah, I was quite pleased with that, because anything that helps it flow better I think is a good thing, because often documentaries they're very crisp, they move very quickly, and I felt that the change that I made there, I think that was a good change, and definitely one for my best interests. But other than that, really, there was no real changes other than perhaps the interview that I couldn't get, and also perhaps the weather, which meant that I couldn't get some of the shots. But other than that, a lot of it was just more or less the same as how I'd hoped for it. Just looking at my storyboard down here, and yep, everything appears to have gone how I wanted it, which is very good.